Hello, Marilyn Mann.
Hello, Alex Cox. How are you?
I'm sleepy.
Oh, man.
I know.
Will it be beneficial or will it be damaging?
Exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying. You're saying walk into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 2 doses of drugs, too much and not enough. That's what they used to say in college. Real farm wisdom shit.
Did they hand out an almanac as well? Like,
Sure.
here's
the almanac. Almanac of drug. Is your sleeping off or stress or like what's going on? Do you know? Do you have a sense of why?
Oh, what? I mean, is this the show? Like, we should get like a scatter plot of, sort of.
You don't need graphs to talk to your friend. You could just talk to me like a person and just focus on the content instead of thinking about infrastructure. How you doing? Big exhale. Big exhale.
Big exhale.
Big stretch.
I don't like how that sounded in my microphone. Ooh, I apologize to you and everyone.
Haven't got any notifications yet. That's good. Even though they don't appear on the show.
That notification was like a harbinger of doom. It was wonderful. And it was when I was talking about porn and I couldn't even finish my anecdote.
Well, I fucked up. You had me all out of sorts and I screwed up my whole Busch Gardens story. The whole point of the Busch Gardens story was to tell you that my whole sense of that diesel smell, which I definitely agree with you on, is the smell of taking the parking shuttle at Busch Gardens from wherever you park to the ticket gates.
Oh.
It was really, because, they kind of like, this is a different time. This is the late 70s, early 80s when we had the resources. And there'd be a whole bunch of trams running, and there sometimes would be like a tram and then another tram behind it. Unlike Muni, am I right? And it would be on time and good. And no, but they'd be sitting there idling, and when you walked up to get on that little, what I'm talking about, right? The little open air, little like car train that takes you from the parking lot.
Oh, wait, no, you had me until open air, like when you go. Have you been to a park or attraction where you park somewhere kind of far away and then you get on some kind of transportation, like at an airport? That's usually like a little minibus, like a short bus. At places like Busch Gardens, anyway, it was more like a safari train kind of thing. There'd be a little car kind of thing, a locomotive that pulls it, and then each of the, as you say, carriages would be like people sitting in rows. I know. All right,
it's like Jungle Cruise on land.
I'm just wondering if this was still a time like I can put myself in there with that smell.
You know what? You might be from
but it's not.
This is generational. This could be generational because they've gotten away from the diesel trams.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what the fuck are you talking about? What sort of monstrosity were they putting the little orphans on?
Did I ever tell you about the teacher I had in 7th grade? I don't think I have. I'm sorry. I'm removing supports from one of my figures here. I had a teacher in 7th.
You're removing scaffolding?
A lot of men could benefit from having more support. I made some lonely men that I printed out. But I had this teacher in 7th grade, and I wish I could remember this exactly, but real quick, in short, this is when I was at military school. And I had this teacher who was actually like an administrator at the school and who was like a retired, might have been I can't say a retired Marine. He was somebody who had served in the blah, blah. And anyway, there's 2 things that happened in that class that have really stuck with me as a then 12-year-old boy and now as a 60-year-old man. The first thing is that every student in his class, this is like, they didn't call it civics, they didn't call it current events, but it might as well have been, what's the relevance of what's happening in the world to our understanding of the world, right? Like just exactly oddly enough, at military school, this is exactly the kind of class I wish I'd had a lot more of. But anyhow, this guy was super smart. 2 things. Number 1, he's famous for this. Everybody knows this. Very first day of class, he says, every one of you is going to get for the time this school year, you're going to buy a subscription to the St. Petersburg Times, which in 1979 was far and away one of the best newspapers in America, and by an order of magnitude, the best. Miami Herald, one of the best papers in Florida. Anyway, and he wanted you to read the entire A section every day, and you'd go into class. Nobody really read all of it, but you entered that class knowing like what was going on, Well, I think this is before the hostage crisis, probably. But anyway, isn't that kind of clever to say to a 12-year-old boy, hey, you got to read the paper. And then we'll talk about it. And we'll see what you think about that. And we'll talk about the world. Isn't that kind of a pretty good idea?
It is. And I made another assumption that, not an assumption, but I guess because in every sort of, I don't know, I'm taking maybe like 3 or 4, sometimes social studies was called, history was called social studies in school, and sometimes social studies was called cultural affairs.
They definitely changed over.
Yeah. But I've also had social studies classes that were social studies classes, and all of those involved some sort of, you must read the local paper, the local paper of record.
Gosh, social studies is up there with / history in terms of those are the classes I most associate with getting a large textbook that we read mostly in order. You got to talk about the Hittites before you talk about the Constitution and all that kind of stuff. That's cool. That's cool that they did
I think
that.
In your area of the worlds, it was the Brown reading group, or if someone was in
getting that right. I believe I'm correctly referencing
class,
something from The Simpsons. I believe.
Yeah, if you were in the Brown history class, geez, moving
Alex,
forward, if you were in the Brown social
good.
studies class,
say it again. It was the Brown history.
If you
group?
were in the Brown history group, you were only ironically getting up until
Gordon Very Very Brown.
That class. Monster. I remember they didn't even get to any sort of. They just. It was, oh God. Well, I wonder how those classes work now, though, because it's here's, in college, we got online subscriptions to a bunch of different papers or whatever.
That's
but now
cool.
what
that's really
happens to when you're taking
I have no idea. But that was just one I wanted to mention. I just think that's an interesting... a verb that I like to use and I'm using more lately. It's an interesting way to situate yourself in the world. To say to a 7th grader, implicitly, when I look back on it, it is distinct from open your mouth as wide as you can because here comes facts, and kind of gets you more tuned in. Anyway, that was the one. And then there's another thing that he did where he would ask these... the kind of questions that your really mean AP teacher would ask you for a blue book essay. The most famous one of those is
literally had a nightmare about it. Yes, last night. Yes,
Mr. Detlefson, who taught AP history, which I was not in, had a famous one he gave one time. This is the guy who would insist that his classes his AP history class was 4th period, so that he could make kids work through lunch or strongly encourage them to always work through lunch. But anyway, one day you show up, you have a 20-page paper due. This is before Thanksgiving. You show up, you have a 20-page paper due, and on that same day you have a blue book essay. And I think he asked one of my favorite essay topic questions ever one time. Sam, he missed lunch title. The question, the thing that you have to respond to, and you know what I mean by blue book, right? You get the book in with all the lines in it. And here's what he wrote on the board. You ready?
Yeah.
Discuss World War II.
God damn it.
Take as much time as you need.
God, okay, so is he still there? What?
He looked like Jabba the Hutt.
He did miss lunch, so I don't know.
Sam? No. Sam's not there anymore. He's my age. But as far as I know, I think he went to New College for a while, so I think he graduated. But his wife was the Dean of Girls. Anyway, that was Mrs. Detlefson. That was Mr. Detlefson. So why do I think that's interesting? Thank you for asking. Well, because in addition to you having to have some facts and recall about World War II, it gives you the novel and very college level challenge of you're going to have to really plan out what you want to do here and what you want to focus on. And, I guess in some ways, try to find a novel way to answer this question that will, you know what I mean? Isn't that a fascinating kind of... I like those I'm intrigued by those kinds of questions. But then again, I like public speaking, so who knows? But then, back to 7th grade.
No, sorry. Go back to 7th grade.
7th grade. Okay. There's a couple things this guy said. And one of his questions that I'm pretty sure it was this teacher, and I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this correctly. Can I just remind you, this is 1979. This is the fall of 1979. You're negative how many years old there? You're negative 21?
Yes.
Yeah. And he says, take a few minutes, and I want each of you to think about what would the ramifications be of a one degree Fahrenheit rise in global temperature in the Northern Hemisphere. Think about what you think the implications of that would be.
Oh my God.
1979, which, like discuss World War II, is like, well, in retrospect, you look back and you go, wow, that guy was really ahead of his time. This is even before we stopped using hairspray. And obviously, we're going to get into stuff like climate change, right? But then the single best one of these I think he ever asked, it was not really a question, but more a fact he stipulated in 1979. He said, there's one location in the globe right now that I believe will be the nexus. I don't know if he said war. He might have said war because it was a military school. But he said, there's an area in the world right now that I think will be the location of the next major battle for power and, the future in the world. And he said, I want you to think about why that would be. And he went to pull down the map and he pointed to the Persian Gulf. 1979. Isn't that incredible?
And he was a 7th grade teacher. In Florida.
You're talking about you got the Strait of Hormuz stuff going on, ripped from today's headlines, but we had 2 different Gulf Wars. We had all of that stuff, and sure, there was the 9/11 Never Forget stuff, but I feel like that was, I guess it worked because I'm still talking about it. It just seems so prescient to me to say, think about the area in the world. Because you know what most Americans would say? What? New York City or London, maybe. You would go oh, it's going to be some capital of power and finance. Washington, D.C. will get bombed. I don't know. I think I'm grateful for the people who ask me weird questions.
What's the weirdest question you've been asked recently that you actually appreciate?
This.
No.
Want to do your intro?
This is Due By Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge, do something nice. I got that wrong. I know I did. It's share something nice.
Do you hear the one that has a little song now?
God damn it.
I might make a point of intentionally mentioning this every week, Alex. I love doing this program. I'm really grateful that you do it. Hey, I got my ATP shirt in light gray. I'm wearing it now.
Your ATP, your Accidental Tech Podcast
Did you follow the whole drama about how somebody ordered, only one person wanted the light gray, and then a second person ordered the light gray? That was me. Because I went, and then I amplified the signal, and now we all got light gray shirts. Because you have to get to 10 or 12.
Thank you.
1453. Very good. Are you enjoying the applause? Are you enjoying the applause when it shows up? Do you enjoy it? Did you notice it last time, the applause? I try so hard.
Yes, I didn't know it was going to happen.
Okay. And so I enjoyed doing the program. I wanted to thank you for that. Hey, everybody. Sorry, no member episode last week. We had conditions where we weren't able to do it. I apologize for that. We try to do a member episode and generally do
No,
every
I
time.
apologize.
No, come on,
that.
Alex. Doesn't help the show. Doesn't help the show. Doesn't help the show.
Mm-hmm.
Does it help the show? Does it become something we're going to talk about that's going to make you sad? No.
No, it doesn't make me sad.
Oh, my God.
I have
everybody.
something nice to
Yeah, nice things are nice.
Oh, God.
It's funny. I don't watch Bob's Burgers anymore, but I still download it legally. And so I noticed when the new episodes come up. Do you remember that song, Nice Things Are Nice, on Bob's Burgers? There's a wonderful song that
I don't think so.
I think Bob and Gene sing together called Nice Things Are Nice. Anyway, never mind. They still make jokes about that. And 10, 15 seasons later, I just had an episode called Heist Things Are Heist, which I think is funny. That's a really good show. It's Sean Benjamin, man.
It is. Oh.
I was in a lot of commercials today. Things aren't going so great with Tony. I quote that show a lot, Alex. I quote a lot of things a lot.
You
can quote me on that.
You?
Don't put it in the paper. I was mad.
Oh, reverse. It's like a reverse bell. No.
Oh, wow. You just broke my brain, dude. What would a reverse bell be? Whoa.
I did not. There wasn't a question mark after that, like legally.
No, but I was acting like I was stoned with you. And then I said, whoa, in order to pay deference to the fact that you just blown my mind, dude.
Is this helping the show?
It is. There's a certain phrases people use for things that, where they say, it's already over, there's nothing you can do. One that we used a lot when I was a younger person was, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I mean, you can, but would you really want old toothpaste? Old toothpaste, we called them.
No, it's not old toothpaste. It has just come out of the tube. I have been in this situation.
You just came out of the tube.
You have a massive...
You do that.
Only one time, and if it's gone onto a sterile surface...
Nope.
You just scoop it
you
back
got
in.
a clean room. You got your clean toothpaste room. Sure. The lab.
Yes, it's called a bathroom.
You think your bathroom's clean? Do you know how many lesbians have been in there trying to fix your toilet? Your busted ass shit. Have to get a snake plunger. Snake plunger for that. Cut it up with a knife and fork. Continue.
Oh.
They'll know.
Oh.
But
I just curled in on myself in such.
No. Just ride the wave. Just don't fight the wave. It's like a rip tide. Rip tide. What was I saying?
Rip tide. We could. Should we get to the challenge? Do you
the one I like. The one I like is when people say, "You can't unring that bell." That's what your reverse bell made me think of that, because if you were going to do some kind of science invention and you wanted to change a condition that, is over and done with, if you wanted to unring the bell, I guess you would need something like a notional reverse bell. Is that the opposite of agreement? What does a reverse bell do?
It's just a noise I made, because while you were saying it, I just kept hearing various noises from a program I think you're familiar with, Taskmaster. And I've gotten really into making sounds go in reverse lately. And I'm like, is it just because of this show?
Doesn't that show kind of get under your skin a little bit? People don't get this. People don't get how special this show is, and that's fine. But you get it, right? You're not people, Alex. You're my pal.
That's true. I aspire to be.
I've already
people
seen your absolute
one day.
casserole.
But yeah, not many have.
Did you watch Amy Gledhill on the podcast with Ed?
No, I haven't.
Check it out. It's really, really funny, because I think she is wonderful and funny and just adorable. I love Amy Gledhill. And she talks about her costume. That kind of like Wilma Flintstone kind of looking thing she's wearing. And they'd made her put on more clothes than the shorts she was wearing.
No!
Because things were starting to fall out. But they didn't want to have to do a Matthew Baton on her.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
But that's part of it.
My testicles, I presume? I would do the challenge, man. I just want to let you know. I'm glad you're here. Okay, I've removed the support structure from my aging man, and he's looking good. I'll talk about whatever you want, buddy. Yeah,
I really want to know. But a nice thing to share would be your aging man. What's the aging man?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I posted this yesterday, but there's a I don't know. Like, it's been a real long story short, long evolution with printing 3D things. I posted this on Ivory yesterday in response to the amazing Star Trek stuff that John Moltz makes, and I was just saying, like, I was trying to like say to him in code that he would understand. I want to compliment you on what you did, and I feel like I know that I appreciate and know why that was really good and hard to do. And then, as kind of a funny proof of effort, I showed him what was currently printing on my 3D printer, which is some old men. So my journey with this stuff, I've come a long way. I have the whole document about this that's still not published on like how to think about approaching 3D printing and how to consider what kinds of things to print if you don't know what else to print. And like, not to be a dick, but like I would discourage you from printing a garbage can or like a 6-color toy that would look better if you just bought it at Target. So like, but I like little phrase. I think this might be a Max phrase that I've fully adopted. I like little guys. You know, I like little guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Yeah.
I don't know.
Biggest company in the world.
I have no way of knowing, but I like
Little.
the important part is I like little guys. Little guys print fast and they're cute. And there's there's so much neat stuff on the 3D printing site if you can get through the dross. There's a lot of great stuff that people do to help people in certain, or to, benefit people in certain communities. And perhaps unsurprisingly, especially to people like Max, there's a giant
like blind cats.
What, blind cats? Is that a blues musician?
No, that's a literal blind cats. You sent me notes. I have this.
Is it like a duck hiding in a tree trying to shoot ducks?
No, a blind cat sometimes needs a little device on it to wear on its head so it doesn't run into walls.
Oh, yeah. That's a terrible example. Thank you. No, another would be, for example, like, let's say you're one of those people who likes tabletop gaming, or you're somebody who likes creating, things like, sort of like model railroad scenes, stuff like that. Or like I say, for tabletop gaming, you might want to be able to print Warhammer style, game tokens and pieces and little dudes. And it's really neat because sometimes if you click through on the name of an author on my website, you'll find a whole bunch of weird stuff they've made. Shall I just send you the link to this so you can see these old men?
Yes, please.
I have to admit that initially part of my attraction was I did just really like the title of this. Talk for a second while I'm looking this up. Hey, how you doing? You good?
I'm doing great.
Are you?
Hey,
is everything all right?
Yes, it genuinely is. Thanks to Merlin. Everything is great.
Thanks to Merlin? What'd I do?
Yeah.
Am I your special little guy?
This is nothing sad. You gave me time to figure out paperwork with insurance. It's not like, oh gosh. Do you want me to talk about the anniversary of my dead cat? I could make people sad. Well, while Merlin is finding something. That
happened with Jason Mantzoukas with his dog Turkey.
See, I want to be Jason Mantzoukas. I think it's been 3 years, but grief is weird.
Did you watch the latest? Have you watched THE latest Taskmaster episode?
Yes.
So
I watched it accidentally kind of live because I just went to YouTube to see if it was up yet.
Oh, really? And it was while it was premiering?
What?
How funny is that?
What?
And then, during the Conquer challenge? Oh my God.
I'm
sorry,
like,
I mean series.
Here, Merlin.
Yeah, hey, bud.
This is something I've. If you, the YouTube channel Taskmaster, you might be familiar with it. Not sure, but if you go, some of the playlists are labeled season. Some have series. Some it's like,
they tend to do season because that's most of who they're targeting,
season,
I think. Yeah,
but there's not a consistency, and I want to know.
Well, no, the search engine figures that out. I use it.
No. I'm saying I want to know who is working on that YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I was trying to address. Are you genuinely that confused about why they would do that? I am
not confused.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you're saying does that? What is it you actually want to know? Because you're just saying words. It sounds like what you're saying is we know that in England, what we call a season of TV, they call a series of TV, and it is let's go ahead, and now that we're being dumb, we'll just call out the jokes. That is something very funny Alex Horne says to Jason Mantzoukas in Series 19, Episode 1, where he goes, I'm gonna wreck this season or whatever, and Alex just very quietly goes, series, Jason. And it's the beginning of a very funny bit. So is it that, so the question is, the people doing that, is that just because they're American and call it seasons? Or my theory, are they calling it season because that's what Americans would expect to see? What's your question?
I think that's why, but I wonder, but they changed it at some point.
Okay.
So I want to know at what point where they're like, oh, Americans need, was it an organic hey, we should change this because an international audience is typing in season? Or was it like some SEO guy? Or it wasn't when they switched to Channel 4, because I did look into it. Like, did it start in 2020? But no,
I bet the YouTube thing is independent of Dave or Channel 4, I would guess.
I think so too. They just have so much this morning when I was watching Maisie, I always call her Daisy Adams, and I
always want to call her Maisie Adams, and that's not her name.
It is.
She used to live in a dip when she was in Yorkshire. She lived in a dip next to that 10 to 2 lady. You've seen the whole video, right?
Of which video?
Please go back and watch the history of Ed and Daisy and the dip. I would like to just say in passing, this is as relevant as the headlines. This came up last week when I was discussing how I had what's called a season pass to Busch Gardens. But as soon as I said season pass, I guess I also did feel the need to say that that's a 1-year pass. Like from the date you bought your pass to Busch Gardens, you don't have to pay for admission. You've already paid for it because you bought a season pass. But I got to say, I think that's a confusing word because I think I'm not going to look it up, but like if the primary, at least in Merlin's personal head dictionary, I think definition number 1 of season for me is one of the 4 seasons of the year.
Yes.
Which is part of a year and not a year. And in fact, like even a grammar school kid would understand that when you say season, well, which season and which quarter of the year? So calling something that's year long a season, but then we also have seasons of sports, right? Where you've got a season of baseball. But then this gets really crazy when reality TV in the 2000s started going to 2 full sets of shows per year, but they kept calling them seasons, which Taskmaster and Survivor both do. It's really confusing because season 51 of Survivor is the 51st season since it started 25 years ago, about 26 years ago. I'm saying it is a confusing word to me.
It is. Well, it is.
To me, the series is a better word for the run of the show is the problem. Series to me, the way that Americans use series actually makes tons more sense to me. So you could say, for example, I like the TV series Mission Impossible, but I especially like season 2. I think that's totally cromulent and unambiguous.
The way that like when someone says season, I immediately go to sports, but and I kind of liked when or I was like, okay, the way they do seasons of Survivor, I thought for some reason in my head, I was like, oh, so they're doing seasons as if it was like an actual different season, and thought it was I'm like, oh, it's clever because sometimes they have the rainy seasons.
I'm sorry, just so I know, season in that case, the part you're inferring is that they mean season as one of the 4 seasons of the year.
They have
season as a year long. I'm sorry.
No. The Survivor podcast got confusing because then they were started to referring to the seasons of Survivor, which were the 2 seasons of rainy season and not rainy season in Fiji.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so yes, there's season 1 of Survivor.
You're telling me that on the professional, actual, official Survivor podcast, they refer to, in this new era, a bunch of episodes of their show as, quote, the not rainy season. I just want to be clear about that.
Multiple, like, oh yeah, that was a rainy season, and oh yeah, so this was a rainy season.
A season during the filming of which it rained a lot. Like, oh my god, when they had to evacuate the beach. Remember that one?
Yeah, but then it ended up that there are actually just like 2 seasons in Fiji, and I'm like, wait, what? The noise that you made is correct. I am explaining it exactly as well as Jeff did in the 3rd season of the podcast, which was covering a season of the show. I don't remember.
I think you might have made a rod for your own back at this point. I think you are making this deliberately much more confusing for yourself than it needs to be. That's just my opinion on it. I don't have a strong feeling about it, but I do like you. I would prefer that you be happy and try to not continue to find things that confuse you for a reason that's not useful. But it seems to be kind of what you thrive on, or that upon which you thrive, as you say.
I find it interesting the way that the logistics again, the logistics of like, okay, I'm sure there's some sort of, I still can't find an absolute casserole because all of them have been like, are not allowed to cross the Atlantic, unlike every other book that Taskmaster.
You're talking about the new Taskmaster book.
Yes,
that I have at
but
my
it's
house
not new. It came out. How did you get it? Did you do like a?
No, you're trying to get the old Taskmaster book. You want the new Taskmaster book. Absolute reconcilable differences. Well, maybe I hallucinated mine. Maybe I'm having a dissociative book title.
An absolute casserole, and it is the Taskmaster Compendium.
Okay.
And okay. What am I? Seriously,
you're not running a VPN or anything, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
Well, can you understand why I would ask, Alex? Do you think I'm trying to be obdurate to confuse you?
Me. That was not.
I think
me.
you're having a non. Okay, you've sent me a link. Hey, everybody! Alex is sending me links. Purchased on March 18th, 2026. Usually ships within 8 to 9 days. There's absolutely no problem. Delivers to 94116. Don't be creepy.
The delivery. Why is it $4 delivery? Okay, so yeah, it does come across. Yeah, and you can't get the ebook. Why?
Wow. You know what I think is important in life? Something I've had to tell my family. If when things get emotional and we're talking about things that are, big to us and emotional, just a thing, and people hate it when I say this, but I don't fucking care. Something I've realized, first of all, when we argue, can we always try to be kind with each other? And second of all, can we always try to the extent possible, argue about one thing at a time? Because I think one problem with Americans and arguments is we so frequently are arguing about more than one thing at a time, sometimes 7 things at a time. Oftentimes we are, and this is a phenomenon, it is known, sometimes we think we're arguing about different things because, candidly, we think we agree about different things. We think we agree about what we're arguing about. But what I'm saying is, I think when we argue with each other, we should try to restrict ourselves to arguing about one thing at a time. I think it's an argument foul to open up some giant, and that just proves this bigger thing about you thing. That's my opinion. Mainly because I hate being criticized. What do you think?
I don't know the difference between an argument and a disagreement. No, I don't know.
What's the college? You went to art college, but
allegedly.
What does that mean? Why do you say things like that? Or you say "I am told"? Like, what does that mean? Are you just experiencing your life from a remove? Don't you have papers and things where you could look all this up? Can't you triangulate?
Hey
everybody! Alex is here, and we're talking about. So anyhow, all I wanted to say was thanks everybody for hanging with us. We do really appreciate the support, and honestly, we appreciate the money. You could choose to support this program by going to giveusyourfuckingmoney.com, and for a small amount, it helps the show. But we didn't do an after show last week, and ergo, we didn't technically have a challenge this week. So I hit you up on your burner, I think yesterday, and said something along the lines of, "What's the challenge this week?" Your burner's funny?
I don't know. The burner phone is funny to me for some reason.
More people have burner phones than you think. I think because of the government. What do you? And so what did you say when I said, "Hey Alex, were we doing a challenge this week?" Mm-hmm. What'd you say?
And I said, as I'm scrolling up through.
See, you do have paper. You do have proof of things that have happened. It's valuable.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. I agree. By paper, you mean text files and the screen I'm looking at.
I'm sorry, that was confusing.
It was. That one was. That one. That one was.
Did you ever get the chance to listen back to the show and see that it actually made more sense than you thought? You ever get a chance to do that? Do you have like a helper? You have a helper monkey that could like especially grunt at times when you should really concentrate for a minute and not just become anxious.
I listen.
Do you have a helper monkey?
Do listen back,
Pray
especially
for
now
Mojo.
with your dossiers, for example. A dingus said that I got very animated about like the challenge I really wanted to do.
Alex, we are working on tone. We are working on tone right now because I've had it up to here with the tone of this fucking thing. And I have a project running on 6 agents right now in the background to lower the fucking temperature of the tone. Stop being so sweaty and millennial and talk like a fucking adult. Oh, that's when that lands. No, you will not. You will constantly refer back to a document called Usage I Dislike. You will remember not to use usage I dislike, including unnecessary neologisms. And you will speak like an adult and say, I'll let you know when it's ready. Like a fucking person. I'll let you know when it lands. Red 1 Reddit post on programming bloop.
It needs to stop sync. Genuinely? It's ruined. Oh, I said share something nice.
Mm-hmm.
That was the challenge.
Well, I mean, yeah, that wasn't all you said. Maybe we should leave this off, but you said something. Oh, look at that ugly fountain. Can you believe how ugly that fountain is? Isn't that incredible?
I was thinking, I read that article you sent me, and was like, oh, that like
the thing about the macrame in Bart. What article are you talking about, Alex?
The article that is about the controversial fountain.
Yes.
By
anybody who's ever been to San Francisco, there's a thing that is a famous landmark in San Francisco. It's been around since I think the early 70s. If you've ever been, if you've been to San Francisco, if you visit, you've probably been to what's called the Embarcadero, which is that area like in the northeast part of town at the top of Market Street where the ferry building is, the wonderful ferry building. It's not what you think, but anyway, it's not full of fairies, but that's the Castro. But in Hayes Valley and everywhere else. But the point is that there's a fountain that was built there, a public art fountain that was put up there in the early 70s. And I think it's technically might be the Villancourt fountain, but it is only ever, as far as I know, it's only ever been known by one name, which is the Ugly Fountain. And it's really, really quite unpleasant and hasn't worked for a long time. And it's one of those like so bad you love it type things. And so long story short, they finally decided to take it down.
Well, I had looked at, the little thumbnail or preview or whatever in messages popped up. And I'm like, oh, that looks cool. And then immediately I'm like, if I had to walk by that every single day, that would just evaporate.
Right.
But in the globalnews.ca, oh, yes, this is from California. Or no, sorry, this is from the Canadian paper that's not upset, but covering the artist.
What I was trying to find for you was an actual recent article that I can't find because it's hard. But I was trying to find you a recent article where I felt so bad for this old guy. He looks kind of like the guy who did this. I think was it Roger Villancourt? I forget his name, but whoever this guy is, I finally saw a photo of this guy, and he didn't look anything like what I expected. Like he looks more like if Alan Moore played in a metal band in the 80s. But anyway, while they were disassembling this, which involved these cranes, it involved, big cutting tools. Long story short, they accidentally started a fire while they were disassembling it. And I just thought that was kind of funny. Or that guy, where it'd be like something, seriously, it would be like something from The Simpsons where it'd just be like, oh, now it's on fire. They broke my sculpture and set it on fire. They're using a ladder. You bet against the Harlem Globetrotters? They're using a ladder.
This artist
I thought the generals were due.
Seems like a very nice man, but I didn't. I would have assumed that this was I don't know. I don't. when I see a sculpture that like there's any sort of controversy overtaking it down, I am, especially if it's like, I'll think of the artist. I guess I always am like, oh, the artist must be from that area. And it's like, oh, no, this is a Canadian artist. And this guy's still alive. And in this article, he says, to see the image of the workers drilling, I saw that before going to sleep a couple days ago. Alex,
I'm not made of stone. I can understand how any artist, including the person who made the horrible 80-foot macrame for Bart, but like anybody, it's kind of, I mean, it's we laugh or whatever.
No.
I know. Before we make fun of them, which I'm about to do, I already have a very funny metaphor ready, just so you know. It's a bummer for those folks. But here's the metaphor. I learned the first week that I moved here that there is no your seat on Muni. On public transit.
Right.
There is no your seat, let alone the seat next to yours being like your seat too, like where you can put your bag. There is no your seat. There's no assigned seating. It's all general admission. And a lot of times, guess what, Bug? You're not going to get a seat. Because there's no seats, so there's no your seat. Okay? Well, everybody in San Francisco has understood that as long as they've lived here. I would also like to say that just because you got paid to make public art doesn't mean it gets to stay there forever, especially if it's that horrible.
And this man hasn't had to see it.
Does he live in Canada?
Wait. Yes. Yeah.
Man.
He is.
Where's the macrame lady from?
Oh, I think she was from California, at least. Hers is a little, I mean, she didn't.
Okay, but like, this is what I was trying to say to you in
that
text.
That story's wild.
Yeah. If this is for anybody who's ever ridden on Muni or BART, and when you go through the Embarcadero BARTs, wow, this is also Embarcadero. Shit. If you've gone through Embarcadero Station up at any point until the last few years, you've seen this thing hanging in BART where you'd be like, what in the fuck is that? And it's this like jet black, greasy, filthy, giant, just huge. There's no way to adequately tell you how much this is an 80-foot textile something that is jet black from having been in a train tunnel for 30 years. Turns out that when it was made, it was a macrame, an 80-foot tall macrame that was beautiful and colorful that they decided to put. It was orange and it had colors and it looked cool. And it's tall. It's as tall as 8 2/3 me's. Something like that. But anyhow, the thing that's trying to underscore to you, Alex, that I know didn't precisely make sense, and that's why I'm ranting, is that the only version of this that I and most people that aren't old, really old, have ever seen is just gross. And then we're always like, first, what is that? And second, why is it here? And people have lived here for years, never knew what the fuck is that weird thing hanging in the BART station. And you're like, whatever. Train goes. Train comes in, train goes out, whatever. But and that. So you're saying Barbara, all due respect to the late creator Barbara Shawcroft. Shawcroft, English born, former Sadler's Wells ballet student, MFA at California College of Arts and Crafts.
Yep. Check.
Yeah, it's one thing to make. It's one thing to make it. It's another thing to have to live with it. Art. Looking at you,
that's
Art.
what I just but I do want to say, because she, in a blessing to her memory, Shawcroft
irregular
kept correcting people who called it macrame because it wasn't. It was called knotless netting. So, even your dingus got that from KQED. It is. It's not macrame. It is knotless netting.
It's not macrame.
You're welcome.
KNOT macrame. It's not macrame. You mean like non-bread?
Like
non-bread,
yes,
not macrame?
It's a non-macrame sculpture piece of art.
Right, like the way not on the other side, on the Taskmaster side, not can also mean zero, nothing, or no, or undefined, or NaN. I know all of those are wrong, and I don't care. It's my show. Well, technically, it's your show.
Okay.
It's supposed to look like bell bottoms. It's supposed to look like bell bottom pants. So, macrame,
but what's
macrame, 80-foot high macrame adjacent bell bottom pants. What could be better for a city on the rise? Might as well just be showing porn films on it.
What do you remember the name of this piece of art?
I never heard the name of it. If I heard the name of it before this week, I don't remember it. No one has ever referred to it as this, ever. I didn't even know the bell bottoms part. I clocked it as macrame because I come from macrame people. My mom and my grandmother were both really into macrame, A. B, really into it way after everybody else had already moved on to custom vans. But also, C, mom and grandma were both really good at macrame. And like, it's horrible. I don't love it. But like my grandmother made a functional ceiling to floor hanging plant holder with a lamp built into it. And it was like, she nodded that herself. It was super impressive. So I clocked it as macrame because I'm from macrame people title.
Barbara was not knocking macrame, just wanted to clarify.
Alex, is there a way that you could try to develop less strong opinions about something you don't have any fucking idea about?
It's not an opinion, it's a quote from Barbara.
If somebody, sorry, are you in front of a Macintosh computer right now?
Yes.
If somebody pointed to that and said, what kind of PC is that? Would you be furious because you had no idea what they were talking about?
I am not.
You would, and that's because of your maladaptive behaviors. We're not working on that today, Alex. We're not working on it. We don't have scope for that. This looks like macrame, but it's filthy. And I couldn't find any better photos than that one fucking smeary one at the bottom, which sucks because who takes pictures of what apparently people inside the BART system just referred to as the dishcloth? Like nobody takes photos of the big gross. But actually, my favorite part of this document, by the way, it's 8 2/3 Merlin's tall. Supposedly, that seems low. What I called it a hanging dish towel. They were calling it by 1986. But the amazing part, this is the part I didn't know. Can I just read you a little bit of this? So
please.
I think it's not having its best days right now, but the general broader system of transit for the Bay Area should be a jewel in the Bay Area's crown. And like, it's having tough times. BART, which if you hear people say BART is just sometimes what people just refer to as, sometimes they mean the BART system. Sometimes they mean underground trains. And oftentimes when you're on Muni, people will still refer to it as BART because that's the only part of Muni, that underground Muni, that a lot of San Francisco people use. 80% of what they use is underground on the same line as Muni or as BART. Point being, one of the wonderful things they did for BART was they built this thing called the Trans-Bay Tunnel. We can't even have that word anymore. And that's underground, goes under the bay between San Francisco and Oakland. And that's how BART gets to the Bay Area east of San Francisco. It's brilliant. So you're in this tunnel for a while. It's called but just so you know, it's called the Trans-Bay Tube or the Trans-Bay Tunnel. And so you enter this tunnel in the east, over here in Oakland, you're underground. I think they might have Wi-Fi now. They didn't used to. But you'd be underground, diddly-dee, and then you land and you're like, oh, hey, look, it says Embarcadero Station. So now you're in San Francisco, and what you never saw was you were underwater that whole time. You came out of the Trans-Bay Tube, and the first western station outside of the Trans-Bay Tube, this becomes important, the northeastmost BART station, but the first station coming into San Francisco from Oakland is Embarcadero. Okay, so that tube, are you following me on this? I did not know this till 2 days ago, and it fucking blew my mind. To explain, in part, why the sculpture called Legs, which is not macrame, was such a gross, greasy, horrible thing, here's what the dingus found for me. Embarcadero is the first station out of the Trans-Bay Tube. Trains break. Listen closely for those of you who live in San Francisco and the Bay Area. Trains break for the last underwater mile before they arrive. Steel-on-steel braking creates fine ferrous, which I think means iron, particulate. The tube concentrates it concentrates the airflow. Because if you're ever in a BART station and you hear that train coming and there's like a whoosh of air, basically this thing is shitting iron parts and then forcing it into the area feet away from where this goddamn knot macrame hangs. It's more like a machine for absorbing brake particulate than art, with all respect.
It seemed
but it explains why it's like that. They could power wash, then the kind of the nut sentence here, they can power wash everything in BART except for the giant knot macrame. which, according to my statistics, was cleaned twice. That's twice with a T, as Casey likes to say. Twice in 35 years at a cost of, one of the cleanings was $24,500. And apparently it didn't take. They should have gotten that undercoating. They put that on at the factory. Anyway. Nice things are nice, Alex.
Still... It looks...
You are still.
So nice.
You're only looking at the top ones.
No. I'm saying it looked nice, and then you go. Like you said in your dossier, there really aren't pictures that do it justice. And I went the only one. This is actually
out of curiosity, just out of curiosity, as somebody coming into this, when you did your search. Do you remember what your search terms were? I'm just curious. Did you do like San Francisco legs, or did you do Bart sculpture? Or like, do you remember what you searched for? I'm just curious.
Oh, I did all of those. Did not succeed on getting one as bad as it was in the article of that was compiled by your dossier, and at the very bottom, let me just send you the picture.
I think it's the smudgy one at the bottom.
Is this one in the dossier?
Paul Mission shot it a few days before crews began work. The plywood enclosure reads as a burial. See, that's exactly the kind of shit we need to fucking tone down. The plywood enclosure reads as a burial. Can I just say, buddy, this is not your strong suit. And I'm starting to relapse a little bit, Alex, into doing the thing that I have not done for months now, which is to start yelling. Yeah, I've started yelling at the thing a little bit. Because it says the dumbest fucking shit and then acts like it's smart, which is infuriating. I was like, please stop trying to explain comedy and me. Stop trying to explain comedy to people, and please stop trying to explain me to people. We'll come back to that another time. This one's really smudgy, and the kids couldn't even touch it anymore. Touch it, touch the legs, touch it.
Oh, so the glass barrier wasn't always there.
Glass barrier was added later after it was already a horrible eyesore, and I'm guessing probably public health menace. Can I just say, if you were to do imagine you're like Keanu Reeves in a John Woo movie, and you very, very slowly take a Zippo lighter out of your leather duster, and you go, chink, flick, throw. I bet this thing would go up like a fucking house on fire. Unless the iron is a retardate. Do you think the iron's a retardate?
That's what I'm wondering. Is like I do not know how retardate. Nope. No,
the process of being able to prevent something.
Yeah, was gonna. Nope.
It's physical. It's physical. It's not mental.
Nope. I don't immediately though. This made me think of wait. So the iron. It was almost like a
iron helps us
not a fuck. What is? I forgot the name of the Statue of Liberty. What are we doing? What's the point of this?
Emma Lazarus.
SNL was good.
Emma Lazarus.
When
Emma Lazarus wrote that poem, the poem wasn't always there. To give us you're tired and whatnot. That wasn't always there. That was added later.
Oh.
I think it's important.
I think I knew that, but not in the way that you. Is it? I mean, yeah, no. I think it is important to always to know that it is. But it is both true, and I think important that the French were just here.
Wow! And I can tell you've done a lot of work on this. Yeah, that's true. The French were like here. The French were like here, and then that had an Emma Lazarus poem on it when they designed it. They made two of them and it kept one.
That's right. That's the thing is.
But one is none, Alex. If you give away your Statue of Liberty with the Emma Lazarus poem, though hasn't been written yet already on it, then you don't have one. Allons-y.
I wonder what happened. Were they ooh, it's starting to get a little green. Ooh, that copper. Ooh,
the reason I say it's important, Alex, is that there are often things that people assume, and I'm sorry to be, I don't want to come off like that particular guy here, but a terrific example that we've been talking about for some years now is what people imagine Confederate statues are. So there's a lot of people out there who I believe, based on information, that there are people who tend to believe that you can't rename Fort Bragg. That's always been, that's an American tradition. Or in most particular, you can't take down this beautiful, beautiful statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest because it's part of
if you like the Lost Cause, the Old South, like it's been here since 1867, probably. And I think what a lot of people don't know is, in fact, a surprising number of Confederate statues were actually put up during the Civil Rights Movement for reasons, which certainly does change your feelings about them instead of wondering exactly how historical they really are. They didn't call it the winning cause. Ask Ross McElroy.
And also, it's funny you should mention that, because as soon as I was looking at legs that was stored for years at cost, I guess I understand why, and then was buried for, I think,
talk about getting homework. Remember me talking about my friend Bob giving me the broken radio and how I considered that homework? Imagine being the lucky recipient of do we get the weight in here somewhere? I think it's something like 80 feet tall, which is taller than 8 2/3 me. It's 50 feet tall and weighs 8,000 pounds. Talk about homework. Hey, buddy, you like art, right? Yeah, I guess so. Can you hold something for me? Yeah, maybe, probably what? Oh, it's too much to explain, but it's a 50-foot, 8,000 pound knot macrame. So say again? Almost says what?
Unfortunately, this is just something that I would be very good at. And so learning about the board and like all of the, like how when you put this dossier together about how, a board meeting was held, multiple board meetings were held. Okay, we're going to clean it. Okay, now we are going to dismantle it. And then it's unclear whether or not there was like a vote to decide whether like to just bury
ask the public what they think.
Yeah, and also,
but this municipal stuff is at least in previous ages, I think, used to be more well worked out. Where you would understand we understood and honored the jurisdiction between different functions of government, and you would say like, oh, this is real, this is in your remit, this not in your remit. I mean, starting with the fact that the artist, for better or for worse, like I cannot speak to the veracity of this or basis for the belief, but according to the artist, she had been assured that it was in the like contract that they would keep this thing looking nice. So, I mean, I think she's understandably pretty. Well, I think she's well, let's put it this way. Before we ever knew what we knew about a ferrous particulate matter, days off, that's not funny. It's not even a joke.
How
it was a joke about Ferris Bueller and iron?
Yeah.
You understand the iron helps us play a joke.
Farting.
Barbara Shark. Reconcilable.
Iron helps us play.
Iron helps us play. Hello, Joe. I get to heal the leper. Barbara Sharkraft, according by her word, she'd been assured in contracts that part of the thing was that blah 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 TK area of the BART infrastructure would be taking care of it and cleaning it. So if that is the case, or she believed that to be the case in any way, like I can understand why it would be the 1990s or 2000s. She'd be like, guys, what the fuck, like. You wouldn't do this to the Demoiselles of Avignon. Like, you got to keep this nice. And they would say, well, we wouldn't put the Demoiselles of Avignon in the Transbay Tube. It's at the MoMA. It's at the MoMA, they would say. And Merlin saw it in 1989, and it changed his life, is what they'd say. It's 5 prostitutes with African masks for faces. It's from 1907. And it's the most important piece of modern art.
Oh, boy.
The Demoiselles. They're not full zells. Because they couldn't get the Hemizels. They have to wait until they're sank in 15 or something.
I am still Big Bart is
Big Bart macrame. Now you're gonna make me change this. You're saying it's not macrame, but it's not. It is non. It's not non. It's non. It's non-bread.
It's non-bread. It's not a pompadom, which I still haven't had.
Papadom.
Can't find them in Chicago. Still might actually.
It's like the Taskmaster book they don't make.
They don't have Papa. It's sure. I don't. Again, I don't have a strong feeling about it. But what you're saying here on our program today is they don't have Papa Dom's in Chicago.
I'm saying I cannot find one, and it should.
Yes
I'm
or
saying
no
it
would
should
be decorous because it sounds like that's the
yes,
kind of monkey ass, crazy ass bullshit you're trying to say here. As you checked,
absolutely.
All right. Did you search for it, and it appeared that the ebook was only available in England? Papa Dom's?
And the audiobook. I want the audiobook
I'm talking
of
about
the two guys.
Oh, I'm seeing if I can kickstart your logic segment by kind of just jamming on the clutch a little bit.
You can get.
They're like a cracker.
What I want is a single. I want a single packet. The way that I have gotten.
Alex Cox, welcome to the Dream Restaurant. We've been waiting for you for some time. Oh my God, Alex! Alex, sit the fuck down, Alex.
Do it. No.
Not
I've
this
had
week.
it in
Not
my
this
list
week.
of challenges.
Not this week. Not this week. But what if Alex were to visit the Dream Restaurant? What would you think of that?
No.
Would you have sheets of ham?
Oh God. This is another. I wouldn't say it's a nightmare, but it is something I've had dreams about.
There's several early episodes of that podcast, which I keep touting. This is the Off Menu podcast with Ed Gamble and James A. Kester, and somebody. Usually, often somebody a comedian, celebrity, a friend of theirs comes in, and James is a genie / waiter who is able to give them their ultimate dream meal. And so they go through each of the courses, and you tell James, what would your dream meal be? And it's just a nice, fun opportunity to be funny and talk about food. And also, to say what seems obvious, but to me was improbable, how much I enjoy each weird thing a celebrity likes and will talk about. And it's one of the nice thing about this show, you guys, you don't need to know who these people are. I mean, I can suggest, if I've got an off-menu dossier that is fucking outstanding, we'll put in notes. But I mean, I wouldn't start with the Bob Mortimer one. I might start with, honestly, Amanda Seyfried or Kate Winslet or really Stevie Martin. The Stevie Martin one, my favorite one is Lucia. Chi with a C, Lucia Keskin. She's absolutely my favorite episode. I don't know if it'd be a great starter episode. But the idea is people come in and just talk about it's only the first time in their life in some cases, especially let's be honest, especially the women. It's only the first time in the entire history of a woman's life where she realizes that her dream meal is basically tap water, several kinds of bread, and a really nice dessert. Girl dinner, they call it. Title.
Oh,
my wife makes girl dinner almost every night. My wife loves girl dinner. Little picky bits.
Yeah, you tell me not to do news. You don't tell me.
I don't tell you. I mean, if there were things I could tell you, I'd be doing. Barbara Shawcroft. Barbara Shawcroft. You don't run into Barbara's like you used to. Barbara's one of those names like Debbie, where you just don't meet them like you used to. I mean, Dorothy is a little slightly older one, but there's a lot of names of girls from when I was a kid. You know what, actually? And women.
I'm not going to clap, but I would.
You just don't hear anymore. Julie, you don't run into Julie's. You don't run into Julie's like you used to. A lot of my dream, I have regrets. I don't have many regrets that I'll admit to. One of them is there's several names that exist where I wish I'd had a really cute girlfriend with that name, and I never had one. There's several of those, and most of those are slightly old-timey too. I've never had a Kate. I've always wanted a girlfriend named Kate. K-A-T-E.
It's overrated. It's
my preferences.
No, all Kates, all Kates who are a girlfriend.
Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett is with a C. So.
Introducing someone, say, "Hey, this is my girlfriend Kate." I also thought it was fine. It's fine.
What about Molly?
You know what? Yeah, no, I wish.
Molly?
No, I've never had a Molly. Yes, are you kidding?
What about Kelly? What about a Kelly? See, that's another one. Kelly was a fantastic. That was John's big girl. My friend John Roderick. That was his famous girlfriend title in high school. Was that? Now she's a medical. Now she's a medical doctor. And they wore a matching tuxedo and dress in animal prints when they went to the prom. Kelly's a nice name, though. I like that. I knew a Kelly in high school, and she was delightful. First time I ever smoked marijuana was with her. At a Cheap Trick, before
my
a Cheap Trick
first college roommate was Kelly, and she
really
is very, very nice. She is the
Kelly
only
is
person
such an
who still
Irish
calls
name,
me
isn't it?
Ellie. Yep, she was very Irish. She rode crew. She was one of those Irish
wow, what a great
people I've
term.
ever
She
met.
rode crew.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
I'm gonna let the dingus continue to say things like road crew because that is kind of boss sounding. But I don't want you to use made up verbs like surface. You don't need to surface this. You need to identify it. Use your words. Bubble up. I would accept bubble up before I would accept surface. Oh, but then also, Alex, of course, because
I like that. Okay.
Of course, because because my fucking dingus is
that.
a millennial, it also uses surface as a noun. Oh, that's cool. You mean like the surface of a countertop? No, I mean some completely made up term involving the computer, where you say shit like this touches the surface of, and it's like, well, what does that mean? Stop talking like you're 31. Talk like an adult.
You're starting to sound like Alex Cox. Stop.
Well,
And
I'm not
then
trying to
you
sound
just
like
gotta-
anybody, and I'm not trying to, obviously, I'm not trying to impress anybody. I mean, this soldier's never going to see action again, and that makes me free. I'm like a perimenopausal woman. You know, my favorite of all the Irish folk singers. You remember perimenopausal? Ta 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 ta.
I like how you got me into
We're an hour and
Taskmaster.
7, so let's start doing your fun part soon, please.
My fun part. Okay, you've
soon.
shared
That's like sounds like somebody that
nice
claimed to be a
thing.
Native American.
when
Or maybe
you
somebody at Angel Island.
told me.
Yeah.
I actually
everybody.
was on the internet. And I
Sorry.
I like to look
Listen.
at nice things.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Hey, I'm going to stop
Great, how are
stepping
you?
on you now. What's going on, Alex? Well, then you talk. Oh, fuck. Okay, I'm going to stop talking.
Do
now.
I
You
have
talk.
a delay? My
Oh,
internet
Alex,
is
every single
terrible.
bit you drift off to fuzz at the end of every phrase. It's not your fault,
Really?
but it is your problem.
Are you?
I'm almost out of coffee, so you need to pick this shit up. Also, I sent you my old people. Did you see? So just to close the parentheses on this, and we'll put this in notes. The name of these 4 figures this person has made and put on the Maker World 3D modeling site is called Miniature People Waiting. And it's exactly what it is. But they
That is
look
exactly
like
what it
they look alternately depressed and shitting. Autobiography title. Alternately depressed and shitting. And alternately, by the way, I'm using correctly there, which means like going back and forth each time. So I do both. And neither.
Help you, I can, yes. Now speak you will about thing that is good. I'm Grover. And I'm the monster at the end of the book.
That's a phenomenal book.
You will.
Oh, don't get me started.
I'm not
Phenomenal.
scared. And then Yoda says to Luke, he says, yeah, in the outtake, in the wonderful outtake. Hey, Dingus, find the outtakes of the Yoda scene with Frank Oz from The Empire Strikes Back. Over. Luke says to him something like, I'm not scared. And then Yoda goes,
You will. You will.
Now, does that sound like more like Yoda or Grover? Be honest. It's more like Grover. It really is more like Grover, isn't it?
It sounds like Merlin doing a bad impression of both Merlin.
It's like I scoop a cup of water out of a urine-filled toilet and hand it to you, and I say, "Does this taste like urine to you?" And you would go, "Well, it's water." Not super helping. So anyway, I had a very funny joke, another word joke earlier. I'm going to keep talking because we need to finish about men needing support. So anyway, yeah. It sounds like we've both in different ways been having a lot of stuff lately. It sounds like, or some stuff. And are you finding yourself seeking out the good?
Oh yes, this
is the part of the podcast where you try to assist your co-host by giving them an inroad into the thing that they claim they wanted to talk about.
Well,
and like John Siracusa, you refuse to benefit from it, which is fine. It really
Did
is.
he say
It really is. It really is fine.
He
tell me about your good thing, and then we'll do the after show. Give us your fucking money.com.
There are so many parks across Chicago, and I didn't know that that every park district location is considered a park, and you can visit them. And do you know how I know that? Because Merlin, he often shares nice things on the internet.
Just for a sec, that is a very interesting, not even strictly a distinction. It's almost like a subcategory. Tell me, give me that fact again, and tell me what the impact of that is and how you do.
Every park district location is
for the National
technically. Park system? This is the Chicago Park District that I started digging into because I'm like, Legs is gone and the Ugly Fountain is gone.
Legs is gone.
No,
no. It's just funny. You sound like somebody sitting on a rail in a western town. Legs is gone.
Legs is gone. ham means one.
Sheets of ham. New York City.
I wonder where all of the statues that Mayor Lori Lightfoot took down in 2020 amid protests, where did all of those?
They're about the right size for her to put her blazer on.
Well, I'm like, where?
Now, give it a minute. Give it a second. Why is that funny?
No, I don't want to.
Remember how? Because I made that joke about how she seemed to getting smaller and smaller. It's kind of like the second best Talking Heads concert film. Stop Making Sense, where it looks like either Dave through the show. It's such a brilliant piece. I don't know how recently you've watched Stop Making Sense. And when you say Stop Making Sense, people remember, oh, it's David Byrne in a big suit, but people don't remember what's funny about that, which is he comes out in a white suit with a boombox and says he wants to play a song. And you can tell from the VU meter that the boombox isn't actually playing. All you stands, just fucking figure it out. But then throughout the show, in a way that is not particularly remarkable at first, David Byrne keeps coming out in a white suit. But a little at a time, the white suit is getting bigger. And by the end of the show, the part that makes the big white suit funny is that he has progressed to wearing a comically large white suit. Now, people know that about that, and they know that it's funny, but they don't know why it's funny, because they don't actually pursue these things. And the best concert movie is the 1980 Talking Heads concert in Rome, featuring Adrian Belew on guitar, and Bernie Worrell on keyboard, and Donette McDonald on vocals, and a lot of other people. And that'll be in notes.
That was a journey. I feel educated. Thank you.
And so, could that? Well, here's a question: could that be something like? There's a thing you pass by all the time. Like in our case, our part of town, there's this big thing, a big reservoir. It's like several blocks square with solar panels on top. It's wild and cool, and I like it. It's a local thing near here on the top of a hill, which seems like a strange place to put a reservoir, but what do I know? I mean, for going up and going down reasons, I guess. It seems like you'd wreck about half the Sunset if that broke, but whatever. Now that's in what I clocked that as, that's the reservoir. But I'll bet you that the area around it with paths and benches and so forth, I bet that's controlled by the park people. What here is called San Francisco Recreation and Parks, and very frustratingly to me. And is it something like that? Is it something where something that you normally clock as municipal infrastructure, you realize, oh, that's actually a place where you can go? Is that the kind of thing you're talking about? Like you could walk a dog here?
Yes. Yeah, and that's how I think it's maybe a little bit more obvious in Chicago because they have the Chicago Park District logo plastered in I don't know, it's probably not iron. But
no, I know what you mean though. It's funny how the different parts of government and to some extent politics play out in those giant signs for things that you see. Where when something's an eyesore, you don't see a ton of signage about it. Whereas something that's not even built yet, you'll see a big sign, thanking everybody involved in it, starting with the mayor. Like our local USPS branch has a big dedication plaque on it, I think about John Kennedy or something. I'm not sure. But, yeah, I get that. History's everywhere, Alex. History isn't just where they tell you to look. History's in a lot of places nobody told you to look. Boy, that's pretty good. That is really fucking good.
And now I know that there are places like in park number 527, and
that's a nice name. Who's that named after? Actually, Mr. 527 is my father.
This is officially a public park, and it is open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. However, it is just a giant warehouse. And I don't know whether or not you can go and because obviously every park there's like a different where are you allowed to go. So it's not like every park district location in Chicago you have free reign. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, okay, there are multiple. I went down this rabbit hole of whoa. I swear,
no,
all right.
I know exactly what you mean.
Still uncaffeinated.
You got it's okay. You got interested in this because of reading about legs or the fountain. You figured out this interesting thing about in San Francisco, the parks department controls more than parks. That's interesting. There's stuff in my area. I'll look into that. And now the rabbit hole it's creating is this curiosity and wondering about, can I do a pivot table about this and start with interesting places that also turn out to be parks, kind of.
There are so many. Well, and also I want to know what are in those. Quite decorous. It's such a fun word. I'm just trying to find.
Please talk.
No. There are I bet there are all of these nice things in these giant park buildings that we don't know what's in there. And I
pop-up restaurant, like a cupcake village or something, or a bouncy house, or could it be a historical display or something like that?
All of the above, because somewhere the Christopher Columbus statues are probably next to a bunch of boat chairs that
this ties into the Confederate by wondering where they hid Nathan Bedford Forrest.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you see the art? Did you see the art thing? And forgive me, I don't know what country. I don't know the woman's name, the artist's name, but I did see something super interesting in The Guardian a month or two ago about a woman. I don't know how she got away with this, and I'll bet her life is miserable now. She's made new sculptures out of disassembled Confederate sculptures.
Oh my!
Can I do the thing? Hey Dingus.
Yes.
Hey Dingus, look up the woman who made sculptures out of dismantled or removed Confederate sculptures. Check in Readwise Reader. Over. I know. Listen. I here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of you out there right now are performatively frustrated about this, and I understand why. I understand you're frustrated for the same reason I'm frustrated, which is I'm sick to fucking death of hearing about AI. I understand that. That's okay. I am actually so tired of hearing about it too. I'm only interested in this one little tiny sliver, and you guys seem to be thinking that if you're interested in any part of this, even the sliver, that means you like AI. That's my impression anyway. So I just want to say to those of you who are checking out my shit, but not talking about it, I see you and I appreciate it, and it's for you. It's not for the people who, definitionally, the dossiers are not for people who think they already know everything. They're for people who don't mind not knowing everything, but sure are interested in hearing something interesting. That's who they're for. So if you're checking it out, I just want to let you know I appreciate that. Also over. Have you started a list? Are you starting to capture ones that you might want to go... hey, do you know how the Michelin star system works? Because I think it's really interesting, and I don't know if everybody knows.
I only know that the Michelin
started to sell
company.
Tires. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that's
brilliant.
Funny. Because when you first hear about it, you used to go, oh my God, all the way up in Poughkeepsie or whatever, there's this 3 Michelin star restaurant. You're like, oh, why isn't it a 5 Michelin star restaurant? Well, because when they came up with their phony baloney guide to sell tires, think about what that brilliant thing you just shared with me, which is that, that's a little bit cynical, but Michelin wanted to capitalize on the fact that people were more and more taking car trips. People who take car trips need tires. So when they're taking car trips, and if it's just an example of good marketing, it's not that gross. It would just be a way of saying, hey, for the people who buy our product, let's make the kind of thing that makes them think Michelin is cool. Fair? So they started doing these ratings. I guess reviews, but ratings I think is the proper word. And if you were awarded, if Michelin awarded you, you got 1 Michelin star, maybe a few people, you get 2 Michelin stars. I'm going to try and get this exactly right. But in the rare case, you could get 3 Michelin stars. Okay. And no, that's not that difficult to understand. And me and you know, Americans who are used to seeing ratings and thumbs ups and downs and stuff like that. If you're like me, you probably went like, oh, I get that. That makes sense. Like that's the Michelin Guide, it's called. That makes sense. Like 1 is the good ones, 2 is the better ones, and like then 3 is the really good ones. Right? But that's not it. It's not it. Do you know what the stars mean?
I do not.
Will you, as I read this to you, will you please bear in mind that this is a company that's making a publication for people who definitionally probably own automobiles and buy tires. Ready? Michelin,
yes,
this is a Michelin Guide. It'll be in notes. 1 star. A very good restaurant in its category. Or it says here, un très bon table dans sa catégorie. I'm not sure why it's in Francais. Is that a French company? Huh, I guess so. Things that took me too long to realize. 1 star, Alex. Michelin has given your restaurant 1 star. Can I tell you what that means? It means what you have there, that restaurant, that is a very good restaurant in its category. Pause. Now, already you're like, 1 star? That doesn't fit with my dumb thing I never checked into. I don't want to learn new things. Why 1 star? That sounds terrible. I wouldn't go to that. What they're saying is almost no restaurants anywhere ever, not full stop, almost no restaurants deserve stars. Because the Michelin system is not about how good the restaurant is. Alex, are you listening closely? The Michelin star system is not about how, quote unquote, good the restaurant is. It is specifically about how much effort is worth putting into going there. A 1 star Michelin, I know, doesn't it change everything? A Michelin 1 star restaurant. Listen, most restaurants get no stars. No effort. 1 star. A very good restaurant in its category. Okay, now it gets interesting. 2 stars. Excellent cooking. Worth a detour. So if you're driving on your Michelin tires somewhere kind of close enough nearby, it's worth diverting from your journey to go to this restaurant. It gets 2 Michelin stars because it has excellent cooking and it's worth a detour. Now, just in the interest of time, I would normally do this in a funny way where we go back and forth, but I really want another coffee and I want to edit the show. 3 stars, Alex, from the Michelin company. You're driving on their tires. You've got no veterinary training. And you're on their tires. And they want to let you know how much effort it's worth. Did you rewatch it?
It's illegal to only the clips. Keep going.
Did you go back? She's got no veterinary training. You said this kind of restaurant. Let's just start again. Listen, he's got no restaurants in general get stars. Michelin does not fucking care about your restaurant. They are deliberately saying, fuck you, or je fuck, or however you say it over there. 1 star is a big fucking deal because they're saying on our tires, it's got no veterinary training, a very good restaurant in its own category. 2 stars, excellent cooking, worth a detour. Here's where it gets great. You know what 3 stars means? Exceptional cuisine and worth a special journey. Meaning, so if you've ever seen, for example, the wonderful documentary now parody of Jiro Dreams of Sushi, which is called, I believe it's called, it features Harvey Guillaume from What We Do in the Shadows in an early role. It's an episode of documentary now called Juan, I think it's called Juan Likes Rice and Beans or something, or Juan Likes Beans and Rice. And it's about hipsters who go to this restaurant in the middle of a jungle that you have to walk to. And all the place will serve, and this guy's way worse than Jiro. He's fucking crazy. And his poor son, Bill Hader and Portlandia, Fred Armisen. He's not up to the dad standards, remember? The only things they serve are coffee, plantains, chicken, and rice.
It's one of my dream restaurants.
They inspect... Alex Cox. It's so you can already see how that's a pretty fecund source of comedy, including like the son having to personally inspect every bean of coffee and then most of it gets thrown away. It's just so fucking funny. I enjoyed Jiro Dreams of Sushi. I enjoyed it. It's swell. It's up there with Helvetica in terms of walking right up to the edge of like how much I can tolerate about this community. Not the Japanese people, but like food. No. You know what I meant? Like food dicks. But the whole point is, in the same way that a hipster might go to Juan's restaurant in the jungle, what they're saying here is that the French Laundry in Watsonville, California, is worth being the reason for your trip. That's what I take from it. The one is, yeah, go if you can. The two is, go if it's easy. And the third one is, this is worth going mainly to go to this. Which, doesn't that change everything?
It does, and it also makes me kind of respect Michelin a little bit more because they could have
because we were just guessing. We were guessing before
and been like, definitely you want to use those tires to go to that Waffle House.
Why not
just
5 stars?
Keep going.
5 stars is you should be willing to be personally killed and reincarnated to come back at another time. Rotten Tomatoes. My grandson hated this toy. One star.
No, I'm making fun of people who leave those fucking stupid reviews. Like the most famous review I can think of, and I will not be fucked to go and find it, but I do remember at a point, probably in the early and mid 2000s, when I was very into the Beach Boys. I was looking at Beach Boys records on Amazon, and it might have been when my dear friend, I don't see him haven't seen him since 2005. My dear friend Mike Coleman, who was the other guitar player and big songwriter in Bacon Ray, wait, what was my point?
You were making fun of people who leave bad reviews.
Yeah, so he, for Christmas in 1996, what a great pal. He worked at Vinyl Fever. He managed Vinyl Fever. See also. Hey, Dingus, please prepare a feature box call out. Triangulate my history with Mike Coleman, please. Over. He gave me the box set, the brand new box set for Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. And it really got me into the Beach Boys. I had accidentally got a Beach Boys album in the mail when I was 10. That still was unexplainable. But I also, then when Mike got me that box set, I listened to all the discs. I listened to like Mike Love complaining in the studio. Like I listened to it all. Point is, one time I was on Amazon in the wake then of my Beach Boy fandom, which continues to now. And I was just looking at albums on Amazon. And one of the reviews was for Pet Sounds. And it might have been for the box set, but the review gave it 1 star. And the reason, as the person explained, so if you saw that, you'd see the 1 star and you'd go, sounds like a not very good record. But then we read the review, what the person says is, I've been a Beach Boys fan since 1963. And they're my favorite band, and I have all their albums. And I'm really sick of these record companies putting out new versions of an album that aren't higher quality or include more interesting stuff. So, the world's biggest fan, I want you to sit with it for just a sec. And even if it's not, I don't care if the story's made up. It's not, but I'm not going to find it. But you've seen these. We've all seen these. We've all seen hilarious reviews like this. I think there are probably a lot of Tumblrs about things like this. You see it every week. If you go to Amazon, you go anywhere, and you'll see that there's a review right at the top for like how this dish detergent is bad because the company that shipped it like used a kind of cardboard box I don't like. And you're like, well, what? Okay, so in that way, okay, so okay. Like you're just mad, and like you just gave your favorite album of all time 1 star because you're talking about having more than one argument at once, right? Doesn't it kind of get back to that? Your argument is really with like the shitty nature of the music industry that you're part of, but like you're gonna get that 1 star because you're mad at the record companies when you should be mad at Mike Love.
That's Beach Boy.
Mike Love, not war.
Could you be alright?